Namaste. Bill credits Katie for being his moral compass. Recap. Today's the bold and the beautiful recap. Steffi and Finn's love fest. Steffi and shirtless Finn are enjoying an unusual night alone. She says it's important to prioritize their relationship and how precious every moment is. Finn says he will never take her or their beautiful family for granted. Namaste. Bill credits Katie for being his moral compass on the bold and the beautiful. Bill is at the Spencer mansion railing at someone on the phone. As Katie enters, he takes a breath and shifts his attitude to being complimentary. He hangs up and Katie gives a look like she couldn't believe her ears. He talks about her being his moral compass and knows how much he's hurt her in the past. Since, he's been lost without her and has wanted to win her back. Katie says she learned to stand up for herself and have confidence, especially as a mother to Will. That said, her love for him has always existed and always will. Previous The Bold and the Beautiful, BNB. Recap. Luna escapes. Luna lurks as Will and Electra enjoy a night on the beach on The Bold and the Beautiful. Electra and Will head out to the porch to enjoy the evening after their dinner. He wants to go for a walk on the beach to work off some calories, followed by a little sexy time. As they head out, Luna watches from a distance. Afterwards, some random person undresses on Will's porch and hits the outdoor shower. Luna sneaks out from the bushes, grabs the clothes and begins to change. What did you think of today's episode? Sound off in the comments and watch the video clip below. Keep checking back for the latest The Bold and the Beautiful recaps. This story was originally reported by Daytime Confidential on November 17, 2025, where it first appeared in the Bold and the Beautiful section. Add Daytime Confidential as a preferred source by clicking here. A creative recap. Bill Clement was never good at slowing down. Most people who wandered into his wellness studio, half yoga haven, half community center, saw only the mellow man in loose linen shirts, bowing with a soft namaste, as if the word itself was a protective cloak. But beneath that facade lived a storm, a man who used meditation not as spiritual elevation, but as a fire extinguisher for the chaos he secretly carried. Peace is a practice, Bill often said. But for him, it was also a performance. Everyone in town adored Namaste Bill. They filed into his studio seeking grounding, clarity, and maybe, just maybe, permission to be calmer versions of themselves. His classes always sold out. His quotes often made it into the local paper. His smile had the uncanny ability to evaporate tension. Yet those closest to him knew the truth. Bill was only balanced because someone else helped keep him that way. That someone was Katie. 1. The quiet force beside him. Katie Lorne had never labeled herself a mentor, guide, or moral compass, but that didn't change the fact that she was one. She and Bill had met long before Namaste Bill became a local legend. Back then, he was just a restless man trying to outrun burnout, and she was a graduate student researching emotional resilience. She rented the small room above his newly opened studio, offering to teach weekend workshops to help him get the business off the ground. She hadn't expected to become the anchor of the entire operation, much less the anchor of the man behind it. Where Bill scattered, she gathered. Where he hurried, she paused. Where he spiraled, she breathed. She had the steadying presence of someone who not only understood ethics and emotional regulation, but lived them. Her sense of right and wrong wasn't rigid, it was resonant. She didn't preach. She simply existed in a way that made people around her remember their best selves. And Bill, perhaps more than anyone, depended on that presence. 2. The crisis that sparked the credits. The moment people later called the turning point began with something deceptively small. A sponsorship deal. A major wellness brand, one known for flashy marketing and questionable labor practices, offered Bill a partnership worth more than he'd ever made in a year. They wanted him to be their spiritual influencer. Imagine what you could do with the money, the rep had told him. Expansion. Retreats. A bigger platform. And Bill did imagine. He saw new mats, renovated floors, meditation rooms with heated walls. He saw stability, growth, recognition. But he didn't see the strings. Katie did. That company goes against everything you say you stand for, she told him gently, as the two sat after closing one evening. The studio was quiet except for the tinkling waterfall in the corner. They talk wellness, but they treat their own workers like they're disposable. Bill rubbed his temples, overwhelmed. But, Katie, this could change everything. I've been scraping by for years. We could finally expand. We could help more people. Not like this, she said. Not by compromising your values, our values. He bristled, defensive. You make it sound so simple. It isn't simple, she replied, and her voice softened. But that's why you have to think about who you want to be on the other side of this deal. He didn't answer. He couldn't. For 2 days, he walked around like a ghost, distracted during class, forgetful during meditation sessions, unusually snappish when people asked simple questions. Katie didn't push. She simply existed by his side, steady as ever. Finally, after one long night of not sleeping, Bill walked into the studio kitchen where Katie was making tea. I turned them down, he said. She exhaled, not with relief but with pride. Good, she whispered. That decision, as it turned out, shifted everything. Word got around. People admired his integrity. Local journalists wrote about it. Membership surged. What he thought would ruin the studio ended up reinforcing its soul. And he knew, deep in his chest, that he wouldn't have made the right choice without her. 3. The recap. Bill takes the mic. A few weeks later, at the studio's monthly community night, Bill stood before a gathering of students, teachers, and curious townspeople. Normally these evenings consisted of sharing stories, talking about mindfulness practices, or announcing upcoming workshops. But this time, Bill had something else on his mind. He tapped the microphone, cleared his throat, and gave a small, uncharacteristic laugh. So, this is going to be a little different, he began. Tonight, I want to talk about gratitude. People settled into cushions. A few exchanged confused glances. Bill was usually the picture of calm, but tonight he looked nervously excited, like someone finally ready to say something they should have said long ago. As some of you know, he continued, I recently had a big business decision to make. And I almost made the wrong one. Not because I'm greedy or careless, he paused, smirked, though I can be both. But because I forgot something important. I forgot that this studio wasn't built to be successful. It was built to be sincere. A quiet murmur rippled through the room. And the person who reminded me of that, Bill said, turning toward Katie in the crowd, was her. Katie froze, startled. Katie has been my sounding board, my reality check, and honestly, my moral compass. He let the words linger. If I'm the one leading classes, she's the one who keeps me from drifting too far into my own head. When I lose sight of what matters, she never lets me lose sight of myself.